At my cousin's engagement dinner, she mocked me. Hope I never end up like her, single mom. Everyone laughed, even my mom. Then the groom stood, came to me, and said, "They should know something." The room went silent. I sit at the table with Aaron on my lap and try to make myself invisible. All around me there is laughter, the clinking of glasses, music from the speakers, some pop song that Ada chose for her engagement dinner. My son sulks, pulls at my sweatshirt sleeve, says he wants to go home. I want to go home too. I've wanted to go home for a year and 3 months, ever since my husband died at that intersection. Ada stands in the center of the hall, radiant, in a new champagne-colored dress, with perfect hair and a smile so wide it seems insincere. She holds a glass in her hand, turning to the guests and saying something about how happy she is, how lucky she is with William, how she dreamed of this day. The guests listen, smile, nod. Mom sits next to Ada, proud. You can tell by the way she straightens her back and how often she touches her younger daughter's shoulder. Dad is relaxed, even smiling, which is rare for him. He rarely smiles. The army taught him to keep his emotions to himself. I sit somewhere off to the side, at the last table, trying not to attract attention. I'm wearing old jeans and a sweatshirt because I haven't bought any decent clothes in a long time. I can't afford it. Aaron sniffles louder and several people turn around. I rock him quietly, whispering that we'll leave soon, that he should be patient a little longer. He doesn't listen. He's 2 years old. He doesn't understand why we're here, why we can't go home. He wants his toys, his bed, his bedtime story. Ada raises her glass higher and says loudly, "I'm so happy. I hope I never end up like her, alone with a child." She nods in my direction. The room erupts in laughter. Someone even claps. My father, red from wine, adds, "That's right. Men don't need used goods." There is even more laughter. My mother giggles, hiding her face behind a napkin, as if she is a little embarrassed, but she is still laughing. I freeze. My face is burning. My heart is beating so loudly that it seems everyone can hear it. Aaron is crying in my arms, and I automatically rock him, but I can't take my eyes off Ada. She smiles, not maliciously, but as if she has just said something very funny, as if it's just a joke, nothing personal. William is sitting next to her. I see his face freeze. He looks at Ada, then at me. Then he slowly gets up. The room falls silent. The music is playing, but everyone stops talking. William walks over to me. He stops in front of my table, looks me in the eyes, and says quietly, but so that everyone can hear, "I think they need to know something." A year ago, I was sitting in the car next to Ethan, laughing. We were driving home after an ultrasound. I was 8 months pregnant. My belly was huge. I could barely fit in the seat. Ethan held my hand on the gearbox, sometimes bringing it to his lips and kissing my knuckles. We discussed names for our son. He wanted to name him Aaron, after his grandfather, whom I had never met because he died when Ethan was 15. "Aaron is beautiful," I said. "It sounds dignified." "Like someone who won't be afraid of anything," Ethan added and smiled. "Like someone who will always protect his mother." I laughed, put my hand on my stomach, and felt the baby kick inside. He's already kicking. "He must agree with you." Ethan looked at me. So happy, so young. He was 27, and so was I. We had been together since we were 16 and got married at 23. He worked as a mechanic. I worked as a cashier. Nothing special, but it was enough for us. We rented a small apartment on the outskirts, dreamed of buying our own someday, saving up for our son's education, going somewhere on vacation. Ordinary dreams of ordinary people. Ethan wanted to show our son how to repair cars. I wanted to teach him to read. We planned everything, from the color of the walls in the nursery to which school he would go to. "Do you think he'll take after me or you?" Ethan asked, without taking his eyes off the road. "You, I hope," I replied. "Your eyes are prettier." He laughed. "But your nose is better, and your smile." We played this game so often, imagining what our son would be like. Ethan said he wanted to teach him to play the guitar because he used to play himself but had given it up. I said I wanted him to love books because I loved them as a child, even though I didn't have time to read now. Intersection green light. Ethan wasn't driving fast. We were driving home, taking our time. I looked out the window, thinking about the fact that we needed to buy more diapers, that we needed to order the crib we had been choosing for 2 weeks. Suddenly, Ethan shouted, "Hold on!" He managed to cover me with his arm and push me aside. A crash, the screech of metal, the smell of gasoline, pain, darkness. I woke up in the hospital. The first thing I heard was my mother's voice. "The baby is alive. That's what matters, Jessica. The baby is alive." The second thing I heard was silence. Ethan wasn't breathing next to me. Ethan wasn't holding my hand. Ethan wasn't there. I didn't ask where he was. I knew. I knew from my mother's face, from the way she didn't look me in the eye. They told me later. A drunk driver ran a red light. Ethan died instantly. They got me out of the car and performed an emergency C-section. Aaron was born a month early, but he was alive. Small, red, with huge eyes. They brought him to me 2 days later, when I was able to sit up. I held him and felt nothing, only emptiness. I don't remember the first days after the accident. I only remember the doctors' faces, the white walls, the smell of disinfectant, and the emptiness where Ethan should have been. I remember my mother sitting next to me and stroking my hand, my father standing in the doorway, not knowing what to say. I remember Ada coming in once, looking at me, and leaving without saying anything. The first few months after his death, I lived in a fog. My mother came every day and took Aaron so I could sleep. But I didn't sleep. I sat on the floor in the hallway and looked at Ethan's sneakers by the door. I couldn't put them away. I couldn't close his closet, couldn't throw away his cup from the kitchen. All of this reminded me that he was here, that it wasn't a dream, that he really existed. Mom said, "You have to pull yourself together, honey. Life isn't over. You have a son." Dad came silently, left money on the nightstand, kissed me on the forehead, and left. He didn't know how to talk about his feelings. He didn't know how to talk at all, only to be silent and keep everything to himself. Once he said, "Ethan was a good boy. I'm sorry." That was all he could do. Ada came twice. The first time she said, "My God, Jess, you look terrible. You should at least wash your face." The second time she said, "You know, this may sound cynical, but you always draw all the attention to yourself, even when it's a tragedy." I didn't understand what she meant at the time. I didn't understand why she said that. I just looked at her, trying to say something, but the words wouldn't come. She left, closing the door louder than necessary. I thought then that she just didn't know how to behave, that she felt uncomfortable, that she didn't want to offend me. 4 months later, the money ran out. I got a job as a cashier in a grocery store, part-time. I didn't choose this job. I just responded to the first vacancy I saw on the internet. The schedule was impossible. Morning shifts so I could pick up Aaron before evening. My mother looked after my grandson while I was at work, but she constantly reminded me, "I can't do this forever. I have my own job. You understand, don't you?" I understood. I worked on autopilot. I scanned goods, smiled at customers, and bagged purchases. At home, I fed Aaron, bathed him, read him a story, and put him to bed. Then I sat on the floor in the hallway and stared at the wall. The tears had stopped months ago. All that remained was fatigue and the feeling that I was walking on the bottom of the ocean. Everything was muffled, heavy, unreal. Family dinners became a challenge. Mom tried to cheer me up, talking about her work at the veterinary clinic, about funny clients, about a dog that ate a sock and had to be operated on. Dad was silent, eating, sometimes asking, "How's Aaron?" I replied, "Fine." I couldn't say anything else. What could I say? That I was tired? That it was hard for me? That I didn't know how to go on living? They knew that. Everyone knows it. Ada rarely visited, but when she did, she always had harsh comments. "Are you wearing those baggy pants again? You need to take care of yourself somehow." Or, is Aaron crying again? Maybe you should see a doctor. I kept quiet. I didn't even have the strength to argue. There was no point in explaining that my pants were stretched out because I couldn't afford new ones, that Aaron was crying because he was a child and children cry. A year passed. Ada announced that she was getting married. The groom was William, 26 years old, starting his own cleaning business. Mom is skeptical. Cleaning? Seriously? You could have done better. But Ada is persistent. He's ambitious. He's building something of his own, not like those losers I dated before. At family dinners, when Ada and William came together, I tried to keep my distance. William is quiet and polite. He helped with the cleaning and asked if I needed help with Aaron when the little one was acting up. This annoyed Ada. "William, sit down, you're not a servant." He obeyed, but I caught his gaze, sympathetic as if he saw something that others didn't notice. Ada changed after the engagement. She became caustic. At one dinner, she said, "Jess, are you ever going to get your life together? Are you just going to sit in this tomb of an apartment?" Mom interjected, "Ada, don't be like that." But she quickly added, "Although she's not entirely wrong, dear, you really do need to move on." I didn't understand where this cruelty was coming from. I remembered my childhood. Ada was 2 years younger, always second. I was a better student. I was the first to get married. I was the first to get pregnant. Maybe she never forgave me for being the first? For my parents praising me more often? A week before the engagement, Ada called, "You're coming to dinner, right? For appearance's sake, at least." I wanted to refuse, but my mother interjected, "Of course she's coming. She's family." Dinner was at a small restaurant that Ada chose herself. I came with Aaron. There was no babysitter, and my mother said she couldn't babysit her grandson because she wanted to enjoy the celebration. I sat to the side, trying to make myself invisible. Aaron sulked and tugged at my sleeve. Ada was beaming. She talked about the wedding and the trip to Spain that she and William were planning. The guests listened, laughed, and raised their glasses. I felt like a stranger, out of place, as if I were from another world. Then Ada raised her glass and said what she said. The room laughed. My father added his 2 cents. My mother giggled. I froze. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get up and leave, but my legs wouldn't obey me. And then William stood up. William is standing in front of me, and I can't understand what's going on. He's not looking at me. He's looking at Ada. His face is calm, but I can see his jaw clenching. "Jessica is the only one in this family who didn't talk about you behind your back," he says quietly, but every word is clear. "The only one who was genuinely happy about your engagement, and you decided to humiliate her in public, in front of all these people?" The room falls silent. The music is playing, but no one is talking. Ada looks at William as if he has just hit her. She opens her mouth, closes it, then tries to smile. "William, what are you—" "It was a joke. Just a joke. Jess understands. Right, Jess?" She looks at me, waiting for me to confirm it. For me to say that everything is fine, that I'm not offended. But I can't. I'm sitting with Aaron in my arms, and my lips are trembling so much that I'm afraid to open my mouth. William finally looks at me. His eyes are sad. "I'm sorry for her," he says. "You don't deserve this. No one does." I stand up. My legs can barely hold me. Aaron cries in my arms, pulling at my hair, and I automatically rock him, trying to calm him down. I walk to the exit without looking at anyone. Behind me, I hear voices. Ada is shouting something at William. My mother is calling me. Someone is laughing nervously. I don't turn around. I just walk. It's cold outside. I forgot my jacket inside, but I can't go back. I don't want to. Aaron cries louder, and I hold him close, kiss him on the forehead, whisper that everything is fine, that we are going home. But nothing is fine. Nothing has been fine for a year and 3 months. I get home by taxi. I'm almost out of money on my card, but I don't care. At home, I sit down on the floor in the hallway with my back to the door and stare into space. Aaron finally calms down, sniffling on my shoulder. I hold him and can't understand what just happened. Why did William do that? Why did he protect me? We hardly spoke. He's my sister's fiancé. I'm a widow with a child. We're from different worlds. The phone rings. Mom. I don't answer. It rings again. I turn off the sound. Aaron is sleeping in my arms, and I'm afraid to move so as not to wake him. I sit like this until morning, on the floor with my back to the door, holding my son. The next day, when I finally turn on my phone, I see 23 missed calls. 15 from my mom, 4 from Ada, 2 from my dad, 2 from an unknown number. There are also messages. The first is from my mom. Jessica, what was that? Why did you do that? Call me immediately. The second is from Ada. You turned him against me, didn't you? Can't you accept that I'm doing well and you're not? The third is from an unknown number. Jessica, it's William. I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't know she could be so cruel. I hope you're okay. I stare at the message for a long time. I don't know how to respond. I don't know if I should respond at all, but I write, "Thank you. I'm fine." I'm lying, of course. I'm not fine. But what else can I say? The phone rings again. It's Ada. I pick up the phone because I know that if I don't, she won't let up. Hello? You turned him against me, she yells right away without saying hello. He lectured me all evening after your dramatic exit. He said I was cruel, that I had no right to say that. It's because of you. I remain silent. I don't know what to say. Jessica, can you hear me? Ada is shouting so loudly that I move the phone away from my ear. You always do this. You always ruin everything for me. You can't accept that I have everything and you don't, that I'm happy and you're not. Something inside me snaps. I hang up. I just press the red button and put the phone on the table. My hands are shaking. My heart is beating so fast it hurts. Aaron looks up at me from the floor where he is playing with blocks and asks, "Mommy, why are you crying?" I didn't notice I was crying. I wipe my face with my sleeve and smile at him. "Nothing, sweetie. Everything's fine." But nothing is fine. The phone rings again. This time it's my mom. I don't want to answer, but I know she won't let up. I pick up. "Jessica, what was that yesterday?" My mom's voice sounds tired. "Why did you do that? Ada is in tears. William yelled at her because of you." "Because of me?" I don't recognize my voice. It sounds strange, cold. "Mom, did you hear what she said?" "She didn't mean it," Mom sighs. "She just got nervous. Weddings are stressful, you know. She said she didn't want to end up like me, alone with a child, in front of everyone. And Dad added about used goods. You laughed, Mom. You laughed." Silence on the other end. Then Mom says quietly, "Don't make a mountain out of a molehill, Jessica. It was an engagement dinner." I should have been happy for my sister, not making a scene. "I didn't make a scene," I say. "I just left. And now, because of you, they're having a scandal." Mom raises her voice. "William is demanding that Ada apologize to you. He says he's not sure about the wedding. Do you realize what you're doing? You're ruining her life." I hang up the phone. I don't scream or cry. I just hang up. I turn off my phone. I sit on the floor next to Aaron and watch him build a tower out of blocks. I don't turn on my phone for the next few days. I go to work, come home, play with Aaron, put him to bed. I live on autopilot as usual. But something has changed. I no longer feel sadness. I feel anger. It's somewhere deep inside, burning quietly, but it doesn't go away. 3 days later, I turn on my phone. There are a bunch of messages. Most of them are from my mom and Ada. One is from William. "Jessica, sorry to bother you. I wanted to know how you are. Ada refuses to apologize. She says you're exaggerating. I don't know what to do." I look at this message and don't understand why he's writing to me. Why is he worried? He's supposed to marry my sister, build a life with her. Why is he wasting his time on me? I write, "Don't worry, everything's fine. You don't need to get involved." The reply comes almost instantly. I do, because what she did is wrong, and I can't pretend I don't see it. I don't know how to respond. I put down the phone and go to make dinner for Aaron, but I think about those words all evening. I can't pretend I don't see it. Why can't he? Why can everyone else? The phone rings again. This time it's my father. I answer because he rarely calls, only when something serious is wrong. Jessica, his voice is heavy, we need to talk. About what? About what happened at dinner. Ada, she didn't mean to hurt you. Dad, I interrupt. You heard what she said, what you said. He is silent. Then he sighs. I was drunk. I wasn't thinking straight. So when you're drunk, you think I'm used goods. Jesse, don't twist my words. He begins to get irritated. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? He falls silent. Then he says quietly, Your mother is worried. Ada is worried. Don't destroy the family with one thoughtless phrase. I'm not destroying the family, I say. I just don't want to be treated like this anymore. Treated like this? My father raises his voice. You're exaggerating as always. Ada is your sister. Family. You have to forgive. What if I don't want to? He is silent for a long time. Then he says, Then you're selfish, Jessica. Ethan died. That's terrible. But the world doesn't revolve around your grief. Ada is getting married. It's the most important day of her life, and you're ruining everything. I hang up the phone. I can't listen anymore. I sit down on the floor and stare blankly at the wall. Aaron comes over, hugs me around the neck, and says, Don't cry, Mom. I hug him and think, when did it all become like this? When did I become the one who ruins everyone's life? When did my grief become a burden to others? The next day, I receive a message from William. Ada and I had a fight. She says I defend you because I like you. That's not true. I just can't stand to see how she treats you. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. I stare at the screen for a long time. Then I write, You don't have to apologize. You didn't do anything. He replies, I could have kept quiet, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. I don't understand this person. I don't understand why he's doing this, why he's jeopardizing his relationship with Ada for my sake. We're practically strangers. In the evening, my mom calls again. Jessica, Ada is hysterical. She says William doesn't trust her, that because of you, they might break up. Are you happy now? I didn't do anything, Mom, I say wearily. I just left that dinner party. But William is on your side now, my mother shouts. He says Ada has to apologize to you, that he won't marry her until she apologizes. I freeze. What? You heard me, Mom sighs. He gave her an ultimatum. Either she apologizes to you or the wedding is off. Jesse, please don't do this. Tell him it's okay, that you're not offended. But I am offended, I say quietly. Very offended, Mom. Then choke on your offense, she yells and hangs up. I sit there with the phone in my hand, unable to believe what I've heard. My mother just told me to choke on my hurt feelings. My own mother. I put the phone down and feel something inside me break completely. Something that had held on all this time, no matter what. I text William, Don't give her ultimatums because of me. I don't want to be the cause of your problems. He replies quickly, You're not the cause. The cause is how she behaves. I just didn't notice it before. I don't know how to respond. I put down my phone and go to Aaron. I play dice with him, read him a story, put him to bed. I do everything I always do, but the thoughts won't go away. Thoughts that my family has chosen Ada, that to them, I'm the one who ruins everyone's life, the one who should choke on her own resentment. I can't sleep at night. I lie and stare at the ceiling. I think about Ethan, about what he would say now. He was always on my side. He always defended me, even when I was wrong. And now he's gone, and there's no one to take my side, except William, a stranger who is going to marry my sister. And I don't understand why this happened. A week after the engagement dinner, I'm living in limbo. The phone rings constantly. Mom, Ada, sometimes Dad. I don't answer. I just watch the name appear on the screen and wait for the call to end. Then the messages come. Mom writes long texts about how I'm destroying the family, how Ada is suffering, how the wedding is in jeopardy. Ada writes short, angry messages. Are you happy now? I hope you sleep well. You've always been jealous. I don't reply. I don't know what to say. I don't know if there's any point in saying anything. At work, I try to distract myself. I scan the goods, smile at the customers, pack their purchases. Everything is as usual. Brenda, my colleague, works at the next checkout. She is 45, 2 children, and a long-distance truck driver husband. She is talkative and loves to talk about everyone and everything. Usually I just nod and agree, but today she says something that makes me stop. You know, my friend Carol works at a call center, Brenda says, scanning milk. She told me that there's a girl there who always meets up with some guy during her lunch break, in front of everyone, and she's supposedly engaged. I don't think it's a big deal. I nod and smile at the customer waiting for their change. Carol says it's your sister, Brenda adds. Ada, right? I freeze. I look at Brenda. What? Well, Ada, your sister. Carol says she works with her at the same call center and that she's always meeting up with some guy, not her fiancé, someone else. I don't know how to respond. Brenda looks at me, waiting for a reaction. Carol must be mistaken, I finally say. Ada is engaged. They're getting married soon. Brenda shrugs. Maybe she is mistaken. But Carol says she's seen them several times. They were kissing outside a cafe across the street. Carol even took a photo by accident. Well, she likes to take pictures of everything. I try to focus on my work. I scan the goods, pack them, smile. But the thoughts won't leave me. Is Ada seeing someone else? That's impossible. She wanted this wedding so much. She bragged about William. At the end of my shift, Brenda comes up to me. Listen, I didn't want to upset you. I just thought you should know. Here, Carol sent me a photo. Want to see? She holds out her phone. I look at the screen and see Ada. She's standing outside a cafe hugging a man. Not William, someone else. Tall, wearing a leather jacket. They're kissing. The photo shows the date, 2 weeks ago, after the engagement. I hand the phone back to Brenda. Thanks. I'm sorry, she says quietly. I didn't mean to. It's okay, I interrupt. Thanks for telling me. I walk home, even though my feet hurt after my shift. I need to think, figure out what to do about it. Ada is cheating on William. William, who defended me at that dinner, who jeopardized his relationship with her because of me. And she's seeing someone else. Lie to him. She's using him. I'm not a vengeful person. I never have been. Even when Ada said hurtful things to me, I didn't wish her ill. I just wanted her to stop. But now I'm thinking about William, about how he stood up for me at that dinner party, how he said I didn't deserve to be treated that way. He's a good person. He deserves to know the truth. But do I have the right to interfere? It's not my relationship. It's not my life. If I tell him, Ada will never forgive me. Mom won't forgive me. Dad won't forgive me. I will definitely become the one who ruins everything. But if I keep quiet, William will marry someone who is deceiving him, and that will also be on my conscience. At home, I put Aaron to bed, sit down on the floor in the hallway, and look at my phone. I have William's number. He texted me several times after that dinner. He asked how I was. He apologized for Ada. I could text him now, tell him what I know, but my fingers won't obey me. 2 days pass. I can't think about anything except those photos. Brenda sent them to me. She says Carol agreed if it helps. I look at them every night. Ada is kissing that man. She smiles at him. She rests her head on his shoulder. In one photo, they are holding hands. In another, he's whispering something in her ear, and she's laughing. This is no accident. No mistake. This is a relationship. On the 3rd day, I write to William. My hands are shaking so badly that it takes me a long time to type. William, sorry to bother you. I need to tell you something. It's important. Can we meet? The reply comes in 5 minutes. Of course. When is convenient for you? We agree to meet tomorrow at a small coffee shop near my house. I don't sleep all night. I turn Aaron from side to side when he moves in his sleep and think about what I'm going to say, how I will say it, whether I'm doing the right thing. In the morning, I give Aaron to my mother. She looks at me suspiciously. Where are you going? Business, I say briefly. What business? Jessica, if you're up to something again. I'm not up to anything, Mom, I interrupt. Just business. William is already waiting at the cafe. He's sitting at a table by the window drinking coffee. When I approach, he stands up and smiles, but the smile doesn't reach his eyes. He looks tired. Hi, he says. Please have a seat. I sit down. The waitress approaches and I order tea because I don't know what else to order. We sit in silence until she brings our order and leaves. What's wrong? William finally asks. Are you okay? I'm fine, I say, but I need to show you something. It's about Ada. He tenses up. He puts his cup on the table. About Ada? I take out my phone and open the photo. I look at them for a long time before handing it to him. My colleague at work knows someone who works with Ada. She saw this by accident. I don't know if I had the right to tell you, but I thought you should know. William takes the phone. He looks at the first photo, then the second, the third. His face freezes. He scrolls through all the photos silently, then puts the phone on the table and leans back in his chair. How long? He asks quietly. I don't know. These photos were taken 2 weeks ago, maybe more. He closes his eyes and rubs his face with his palms. Who is this? I don't know. I'm sorry. My colleague says it's someone from her work. He is silent for a long time. I sit there and don't know what to do, what to say. Finally, he opens his eyes and looks at me. Why did you tell me? You know that after this, your family... I know, I interrupt, but you deserve to know the truth. You're a good person, William. You don't deserve this. He smiles sadly. You're repeating my words from that dinner. Because they're true. He is silent again. Then he says, Thank you, Thank you. I nod. I finish my tea. I get up. I have to go. Erin is at my mom's. She's waiting. Jessica, he says as I'm leaving. I turn around. I'm sorry. For everything. You have nothing to apologize for, I say. You never did. I wait for the next 2 days. I know something has to happen. That William will talk to Ada. That there will be a scandal. And he doesn't keep me waiting. On the 3rd day, the phone explodes with calls. First Ada, then Mom, then Dad, then Ada again. I don't pick up the phone. Messages come in. Ada writes in capital letters, You ruined everything. Are you happy now, jealous bitch? Mom writes, Jessica, what have you done? William broke off the engagement. Ada is hysterical. How could you? Dad writes briefly, Call me immediately. I don't call. I turn off the sound on my phone and play with Aaron. We build a tower out of blocks. He laughs when it falls. I try to smile too, but I can't. In the evening, someone knocks on the door. I look through the peephole and see my mom and dad. My mom is red-faced and crying. My dad looks gloomy. I don't want to open it, but I know that if I don't, they won't go away. I open it. They come in without waiting to be invited. How could you? Mom starts yelling right away. How could you do that to your own sister? I didn't do anything to her, I say calmly. I just told William the truth. What truth? Mom comes closer. You took revenge on her. For those words at dinner. You deliberately found some photos, faked them. I didn't fake anything, I interrupt. The photos are real. Ada was cheating on William. He had to know. It's none of your business, Mom yells. It's not your relationship. You had no right. She was cheating on him, Mom, I say louder. She lied. She used him, and he's a good person. So what? Mom laughs, but there's no joy in her laughter. You decided to save him? Play the heroine? Jessica, you ruined her life. She loved him. If she loved him, she wouldn't have cheated on him, I say. My father, who has been silent until now, finally speaks. You took revenge on her. Admit it. I look at him. I didn't take revenge. I just couldn't stand watching a good man marry someone who was cheating on him. A good man, my mother shouts again. You don't even know him. You've only seen him a few times. And Ada is your sister. Blood. Family. Family doesn't do what she did to me at that dinner, I say quietly. Family doesn't humiliate you, doesn't laugh at you, doesn't say you're used goods. Are you still upset about that? My father raises his voice. We already apologized. How much longer? You didn't apologize, I say. You asked me to accept it. Those are two different things. My mother looks at me as if she's seeing me for the first time. You've always been selfish, Jessica. Always. Everything has to revolve around you. Your grief, your problems, your hurt feelings. What about the others? What about Ada? She's alone now without a fiancé. The wedding is off. All her friends know he dumped her. He dumped her because she cheated on him, I repeat. Not because of me. Because of her. But you told him, my mother yells. You could have kept quiet, given her a chance. A chance for what? To marry a lie? My father takes a step toward me. You're no longer our daughter. Do you hear me? You chose this. You chose a stranger over your family. Now live with that. He takes my mother by the hand and leads her to the door. She is crying, but she goes. At the threshold, she turns around. Don't call us anymore. Don't come here. You are dead to us. The door closes. I stand in the middle of the hallway and can't move. Aaron comes out of his room and pulls me by the hand. Mom, why was Grandma crying? I hug him and don't answer. I don't know what to say. How do you explain to a 2-year-old that his grandparents don't want to see us anymore? That we're on our own now? The phone rings. It's William. I pick up the receiver. Jessica, sorry to bother you. I heard your parents came by. Is everything okay? Yes, I say. Everything's fine. Ada called me. She was screaming that you made it all up, that the photos were fake. They're not fake. I know, he says quietly. I checked. I talked to the guy. He confirmed it. They've been dating for 6 months. I don't say anything. 6 months. Ada was cheating on William even before they got engaged. Thanks for telling me, William adds. I know it cost you a lot. You're worth it, I say simply. He is silent. Then he says, if you need help, if anything, write to me. Anytime. Thank you. I hang up the phone. I sit down on the floor next to Aaron and watch him play. I think about what my mother said, that I'm dead to them, that I'm no longer their daughter. And for the first time in a year and 3 months, I don't feel pain. I feel relief. 3 months after my parents said I was dead to them, I live in silence. Not literally. Aaron won't let me be silent. He's always asking something, asking for something, telling me something in his childish language. But silence from my family. No one calls, no one writes, no one comes. At first it was strange. I was used to my mother's constant calls, her advice, her criticism. I was used to my father's short messages with money transfers. I was even used to Ada's caustic comments. And now, nothing. Just silence. And I suddenly feel like I can breathe. Financially, it's difficult. My father no longer sends money. Mom doesn't look after Aaron, so I have to pay my neighbor Linda, a student who charges $10 an hour. That eats up almost half my salary. The rest is barely enough for rent, food, and utilities. I've stopped buying myself anything new. I wear old clothes, I patch holes in my jeans, I don't replace worn-out sneakers, but Aaron is clothed, fed, he has toys. That's the main thing. William writes sometimes, not often, once a week, maybe twice. He just asks how things are, how Aaron is. I reply briefly, I don't want to burden him. He's already done enough for me, more than my family did in the whole year after Ethan's death. One morning, Aaron wakes up with a fever of 39.2. I take his temperature 3 times because I don't believe it. He's burning up. His nose is running. He's coughing. I give him some fever reducer, call Linda, and rush to work. I can't take sick leave. My manager already warned me that I've missed too much work. One more time, and I'll be fired. I can't concentrate at work. My hands shake when I scan the goods. I keep looking at my phone. Linda writes that Aaron is crying, that his temperature isn't going down, that we need to call a doctor. But a doctor's visit costs $120. I have $83 in my account. Lunch break. I'm sitting in the back room staring blankly at the wall. I don't know what to do. I call Linda. She says that Aaron has calmed down a bit, eaten some soup, but he's still hot. I ask her to stay a few more hours, promise to pay extra. She agrees, but I can hear in her voice that she feels uncomfortable. I text William. I don't know why. I just need to tell someone who won't accuse me of being a bad mother. Aaron is sick. He has a high fever. I don't know what to do. The reply comes in a minute. What's his temperature? Did you call a doctor? 39 and 2. I can't call 1. It's too expensive. He doesn't write anything for a few minutes. Then, give me the address. I'll come over. I don't have time to reply that it's not necessary before he writes again. Jessica, give me the address, please. I send the address. Not because I want to burden him, but because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that something is wrong with Aaron, that I'll lose someone again. After work, I rush home. I take the stairs because the elevator isn't working again. On the 3rd floor, I'm out of breath, but I don't stop. I open the door to the apartment and see William. He's sitting on the living room floor, holding Aaron in his arms. My son is asleep, his face red, but breathing evenly. On the table is a box of medicine, a thermometer, a glass of water. What happened? I ask, taking off my jacket. William carefully gets up, carries Aaron to the sofa, lays him down, and covers him with a blanket. I came as soon as I finished work, he says quietly. I called the doctor. She examined him and said it was just a common cold. She prescribed some medicine. I bought it at the pharmacy. His temperature has already dropped to 38 degrees. I look at him and can't say a word. He came. He called the doctor. Bought medicine. Everything I couldn't do. How much do I owe you? I finally ask. He looks at me in surprise. Nothing. You don't owe me anything. But the doctor, the medicine, Jessica. He comes closer. You don't owe me anything. I wanted to help. Just help. I feel my eyes filling with tears. I wipe them with my sleeve. Why are you doing this? I ask. Why are you helping me? I ruined your engagement. My family hates you. You could have just disappeared. He smiles sadly. You didn't ruin my engagement. Ada did, with her lies. And you just told the truth. You saved me from a mistake. But still, Jessica, he interrupts gently, I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. Because you're a good person who found herself in a terrible situation, and because I can help. It's that simple. I look at him and don't know how to respond. No one has ever told me I'm a good person. After Ethan died, everyone said I needed to pull myself together, move on, not dwell on it. No one said I was doing a good job, that I was coping, that I was good. Thank you, I whisper. Thank you so much. He nods, picks up his jacket from the chair. I have to go, but if anything, write to me, anytime. William, I say when he's already at the door. He turns around. Thank you, really. I don't know what I would have done without you. You would have managed, he says simply. You're stronger than you think. After that incident, William starts coming by more often, not every day, once or twice a week, just to check on us. Sometimes he brings groceries saying he bought too much and can't eat it all himself. Sometimes he plays with Aaron while I make dinner. Sometimes he just sits in the kitchen, drinks coffee and talks about work. His cleaning business is slowly growing. He now has 3 employees and several regular customers. He talks about equipment problems, difficult customers, and how hard it is to find reliable people. I listen and am amazed at how easy it is to talk to him. No need to explain, no need to justify myself. I start making him coffee when he arrives. I remember that he likes it without sugar, but with milk. I buy cookies that he likes. He notices and smiles. "You don't have to spend money on me." "It's nothing," I say, "after everything you do for us." He doesn't argue. He just takes the cup and thanks me. There is no romance between us. It's not that kind of story. He doesn't look at me the way Ethan did. I don't feel butterflies in my stomach when he comes. But there is something else. Something I haven't felt in a long time. Trust, peace, the feeling that I'm not alone. One day, when he's sitting with Aaron and I'm washing the dishes, the phone rings. Unknown number. I pick up the receiver. "Hello?" "So it's true." Ada's voice is cold, angry. "You're fucking my fiancé." I freeze. William looks at me from the living room, alert. "What?" I say finally. "Don't play dumb," Ada laughs, but there is no joy in her laughter. "I've been told he's always at your place. He comes over several times a week, sits with your whore. You stole my fiancée, Jessica. First you ruined our relationship, and now you've taken him for yourself." "He's not your fiancé," I say calmly. "You broke up 3 months ago, and I didn't steal anything. We're just friends." "Friends?" She laughs again. "Who would believe that? A widow and a man who belongs to no one. Everyone knows what's going on." "Nothing is going on," I say more firmly. "William is helping me as a friend, nothing more." "Of course," Ada says sarcastically. "He always liked to play the savior. But you forgot one thing, little sister. He's mine. He was mine, and he'll come back to me. And you'll stay where you belong, in that pathetic apartment with your orphaned child." She hangs up. I stand there with the phone in my hand and feel my hands shaking, not from fear, from anger. What did she say? William comes up to me. "That I stole you," I say. "That there's something between us." He sighs and rubs his face with his hands. "I'm sorry. I didn't think she would find out." "How did she even know?" "Someone must have seen us. Told her." He looks at me guiltily. "Do you want me to stop coming?" "I don't want to cause you any trouble." "No," I say quickly. "I don't want you to. I like it when you're here. Aaron does too. Don't pay any attention to Ada." He nods, but I can see he's upset. The next day, my mom calls. I don't answer the phone, but she sends me a text. "Ada told me everything. You've disgraced the family once and for all. You're hanging out with her ex-fiancé. We don't want to see you anymore, ever." I read the message and think that they haven't wanted to see me for 3 months. What has changed? My father doesn't call. He doesn't write. He just disappears from my life as if I never existed. In the evening, when Aaron is asleep, I sit in the kitchen and think about everything that has happened over the past few months. About how my family rejected me. About how William came into my life. About how, for the first time in a year and 3 months, I don't feel like I'm drowning. My phone vibrates. A message from William. "How are you? How's Aaron?" I smile. I write, "Everything's fine, he's asleep. Thanks for asking. I can stop by after work tomorrow, if you don't mind." "I don't mind. I'll be waiting." I put my phone down and look out the window. It's dark outside and it's raining, but it's warm in the apartment. Aaron is breathing evenly in his room. The kitchen smells of coffee, which I just brewed. And for the first time in a very long time, I don't feel empty. I don't feel lonely. The following weeks form a new reality. William comes twice a week, sometimes more often. We don't discuss whether it's right or what people will think. We just live. He helps with Aaron when I have to work late. I cook him dinner when he comes home hungry after a long day with clients. We watch cartoons with Aaron, laugh at his funny words, and rejoice in his little achievements. It's not romance. It's something simpler and at the same time, more complicated. It's friendship, real, without expectations, without demands. One evening, when Aaron is already asleep, we sit in the kitchen drinking tea. William tells me about a new contract he has received, a large office center, regular cleaning. I listen and rejoice for him. You deserve it, I say. You work hard. He smiles. Thank you. Sometimes it seems like nothing works out, that all efforts are in vain. But then something like this happens, and you realize you just have to keep going. I nod. I understand what he's talking about. Sometimes I feel like I can't take it anymore, that it's too hard, too lonely. But then Aaron smiles at me, or William texts to ask how I'm doing, and it gets easier. How are you coping? He asks suddenly, after everything that happened to your family. It must be hard. I think about my answer. Hard? Yes. Painful? Sometimes. But do I regret it? Strangely enough, no. For the first time in a year, I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anyone, I say honestly. I don't have to justify myself for being sad or for not being able to fix everything right away. I can just live. And that's good. He looks at me intently. You're a strong person, Jessica, stronger than anyone I know. I smile. I don't feel strong. Most of the time, I'm just trying to survive. That's where the strength lies, he says, in keeping going, even when it's hard. We sit in silence, drinking tea. It's raining again outside. But here, in the small kitchen, it's warm and peaceful. And I think that maybe this is what real support looks like. Not grand words, not dramatic gestures, just presence. Just a person nearby who doesn't judge, doesn't demand, doesn't expect, just is. And for the first time in this whole terrible year, I feel something like hope. 3 more months pass. 6 months since my parents said I was dead to them. 6 months of silence. 6 months without family. And I'm still here, still breathing, still coping. The job is the same. Cashier at the grocery store, part-time, minimum wage. But the manager recently offered me a few more shifts a week. I agreed, even though I know it means even less time with Aaron. But I need the money. I always need it. Aaron is growing up fast. He's almost 3 years old. He speaks in sentences, asks a million questions a day, plays with the cars William brought him a month ago. Sometimes when I look at him, I see Ethan, the same expression on his face when he's focused, the same smile. It doesn't hurt as much as it used to. It's just sad, a warm, calm sadness. William now comes 3 times a week, sometimes more often. He doesn't ask for permission. He just writes, "Can I come over?" And I always say yes, because I really want to, because it's easier with him, because he's the only person who doesn't judge me, doesn't tell me I need to get a grip, doesn't look at me with pity or disappointment. We're not a couple. It's important to understand that. There are no kisses, hugs, or romantic gestures between us. He sleeps on the couch when he stays to help with Aaron the next day. I sleep in my room where Ethan's t-shirt still lies under my pillow. We don't talk about feelings. We don't flirt. We don't look at each other for long. But there is something else between us. Something I couldn't put my finger on until Brenda said at work, "You've found yourself a good man." I looked at her in surprise. "What?" "William," she smiled, "he's a good man. You don't meet many like him." "We're not together," I said quickly. "We're just friends." Brenda nodded, but her eyes said, "Of course, friends." "Whatever you say. But he cares about you. It's obvious." I didn't know what to say, because she was right. He cares. And I care about him. I make coffee the way he likes it. I cook dinner when he comes home hungry. I listen when he needs to talk. We care about each other. But it's not love. It's something else. One evening, as we sit in the kitchen after putting Aaron to bed, William asks, "Have you ever thought about finding someone? I mean, someone new, not to replace Ethan, just someone." I think about the question. Have I? Yes. But I've always dismissed the idea. I'm not ready, I say honestly. I don't know if I ever will be. He was the one. I can't imagine anyone else. William nods. I understand. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Why are you asking? I look at him. He shrugs. I just think sometimes that you deserve happiness. Someone to be there for you. Not as a friend, but as more. I have Aaron, I say. That's enough. Aaron is your son, but you're a person too, with needs and desires. I smile. My needs right now are to pay the rent and not let my son go hungry. Everything else is too complicated. He doesn't insist. He just finishes his tea and says, if you ever change your mind, you deserve the best. Remember that. A week after this conversation, when I return from work, I see my mother at the door of the apartment. She is sitting on the stairs, thin and aged. Her face is gray with dark circles under her eyes. When I approach, she stands up. Jessica. Her voice is quiet and tired. Mom, I say neutrally, what happened? Can we talk? I don't want to let her into the apartment. I don't want her to see my life, my small but real happiness. But Erin is at Linda's, and we're alone. I open the door and let her in. She comes in and looks around. The apartment is clean and cozy. Erin's toys are on the table, and the kitchen smells of fresh coffee. Mom sits down on the sofa, and I remain standing. What do you want? I ask. I'm sorry, she says quietly. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't expect to hear those words. I freeze. Ada. Mom wipes her eyes with her hand. She hates me. She blames me for not being able to get William back. She says I'm a bad mother, that it's all my fault. I remain silent. I don't know what to say. Dad, too, he hardly talks to me. He says I ruined everything, that I should have stuck with you, not Ada, that you were right. Why did you come, Mom? I ask wearily. What do you want? She looks at me, and there is real pain in her eyes. I want you to forgive me. I want to come back into your life, to see my grandson. He's grown so much. I saw photos on social media. He's so big now. You said I was dead to you, I remind her, 6 months ago. You said you never wanted to see me again. I was wrong. She stands up and comes over to me. Jessica, I was wrong. Ada, she's not who I thought she was. She's cruel and selfish. And you've always been a good daughter. I just didn't see it. I look at her and feel no pity. I feel no desire to hug her, to comfort her. I feel emptiness. You came because Ada turned away from you, I say calmly. Not because you realized you were wrong, but because she was left alone. No, Mom grabs my hand. No, I really understand. You were right. William is a good man. Ada didn't deserve him, and you deserved support, an apology. I was a bad mother. You were, I agree, and you still are. She pulls her hand away as if I had hit her. Jessica, Mom, you came because you feel bad, not because of me. You want me to comfort you, to tell you that everything is fine, but it's not fine. You chose Ada. You chose her words, her version. You laughed when she humiliated me. You told me to swallow my pride. I didn't mean. You did, I interrupt. That's exactly what you meant. And now that Ada has shown her true colors, you remember me. But you know what? I'm not a backup option. Not a punching bag you can come back to when everyone else has turned away. Mom is crying. Real, bitter tears. Please, she whispers. I'm your mom. Give me a chance to make it right. I look at her for a long time. I see fatigue, pain, despair. I see a woman who has lost both her daughters, and I feel no satisfaction from this, just fatigue. I'm not ready, Mom, I say quietly. Maybe someday, but not now. I need time. How much time? She asks. I don't know. Maybe a lot, maybe never. I don't know. She gets up and takes her bag. At the door, she turns around. I love you, Jessica. I always have. If you loved me, I say, you would have protected me back then, at that dinner. You would have taken my side, but you didn't. She leaves. I close the door and sit down on the floor in the hallway. I don't cry. I just sit there. Aaron will be back in an hour. I have to make dinner, wash his clothes, and get his clothes ready for tomorrow. Life goes on. The phone rings. William. "Hi," I say. "Hi, how are you?" "Mom came by," I say simply. "She apologized." "And what did you do?" "I sent her away. I'm not ready." He is silent for a moment, then says, "You did the right thing." Forgiveness has to come from the heart, not from a sense of duty. "Yeah," I agree. "William?" "Yes?" "Thanks. For everything." "You're welcome," he says simply. I hang up and get up. I have to make dinner. Life doesn't stop because of broken family ties. It just goes on, in a new way. A month later, I get a message from my father. It's short. "I'm sorry, I was wrong. I don't call. I don't write a long reply, just, thank you. I need time." He doesn't insist. He doesn't write anymore. But I know the door is slightly ajar. Ada is not responding. I hear from Brenda, Carol told her, that she quit her job at the call center and moved to another city, with the guy she cheated on William with. I don't know how I feel about that. Relief? Sadness? Nothing. One evening, when William is sitting on the living room floor playing with Aaron with toy cars, I watch them from the kitchen. My son is laughing. William, too. They are building a garage out of blocks, and Aaron keeps breaking it, and William patiently builds it again. And I think, this is not the family I dreamed of, not the story I planned, but it's mine, chosen, created from what was left after the disaster. William catches my gaze and smiles. I smile back. Not love, but something just as important: presence, support, acceptance. And for the first time in 2 years, I feel that I'm not just surviving. I'm living,